right, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Launchpad. My name's Grant, and today I am here with Wenzday.
What's going on, guys? Hello, hello.
How you doing? We are fresh off your set here at Phoenix Lights.
Yep.
Tell me about the set. How did it go?
Oh my gosh, I am so stoked about this set. I actually came to the show with AC Slater, and that was really cool. So I got to play out my night bass release, and he was on stage dancing around, and it was just an amazing set. I've been having a lot of fun playing out all my new music, and Arizona's always an amazing crowd, so no complaints.
Do you have just thinking back like real quick, do you have like a set that really like stands out in your mind in like the past year?
You know, I think in the past year, obviously all of my sets at EDC are probably my most exciting. And also the last time I was here in Arizona, I was supporting Steve Aoki at Rawhide, and that was actually a really, really fun set. It was hot as hell, but it was really, really fun. So.
Yeah, okay, nice. So I know we were talking a little bit off camera. You got some big stuff coming up, some new music coming out,
yes,
EP
so
in the works.
I have, this year's been really, really great in terms of music. I released a couple songs with House Trap already. A song called Bring the House Down just came out, which was really fun because we were teasing that all of Miami Music Week. Then I had a release with Matroda's Terminal Underground called Handle with Care. And then I'm really looking forward to my upcoming EP with Insomniac Records coming in July. This EP is going to be a follow-up to Heartbreak House. So it's been in the works for a while. I wanted to make sure we had everything right conceptually, sonically, and I'm just really excited. And I played all those tunes out in the set. So
nice, I love that.
Thanks.
I'm really curious and want to hear about your background of like how you got into music. I know we were talking earlier. Your brother is also a pretty successful DJ and producer.
Shout out Jack Daniels.
Yeah, shout out Jack Daniels. Tell me a little bit about like your upbringing and like how music like influenced you growing up.
100%. So I got into music originally. I was actually a theater kid. And I thought,
same here. Yeah, both of us were actually.
We loved
we were
that.
Thespians back in the day. The whole 9 yards.
I love that. Yeah, so I went to school for vocal production. Vocal performance. And actually, when I was in college, I got vocal notes, and I had to basically go on a year of vocal rest, which is when I really. I'd always had DJ'd in high school and stuff, but not being able to basically talk for a year, I found my best way to communicate was through DJing, and then eventually production, and so. I started producing hip-hop, was doing hip-hop beats. I did kind of the open format circuit in LA and Vegas for a long time, and then in like 2016, my brother really urged me to start producing music, and so that's kind of how the Wenzday project as we know today started.
So I know we were talking a little bit, when you first got into music, your sound was a lot different than what it sounds like now.
100%. I was definitely a bass music girly. I love bass music. I will always have a spot in my heart for dubstep. You know, and I think it was because, you know, my brother was really teaching me, and, you know, I was going to his shows. That was really my first taste into EDM, right? And what I realized was that I really had a passion for house music. And so I think, you know, with bass house, and now I've kind of evolved more into the tech house realm, but so it's always evolved with like how I've evolved as a human, and it's grown into what I was listening to, what shows I would go to and love to, and you know, I'm really, really happy because I think, you know, with Heartbreak House in 2018, it was very, very bass house driven. And now I like to call my music party tech. So it's a little bit, it's tech house, but it's, you know, it's upbeat and it still has the sound design references, I guess, from bass music. And so I'm really, really excited. I think the new music is like the perfect combination of everything.
I got a little two-part question for you. So thinking back to like when you first got into music and started like your music journey and DJing and producing and all that, who were like some of the big artists that really inspired you during that time? And who are the artists that kind of inspire you now?
Oh, that's a good one. So right when I started DJing, I was very fortunate to know DJ AM. So that was really on the turntablist front who my biggest inspiration was. That kind of fed into 8-Track. That kind of was the Bloghouse era. So Steve Aoki. Kind of everyone within the Dimmock Fool's Gold circle, really, who I looked up to. Then, obviously, I went to my first EDC in 2010, so it was Deadmau5, Cascade, Morgan Page, so more on the prog house side. Now, it's crazy because a lot of the artists who inspire me are also my peers. So I talked about AC Slater, Bijou, Dr. Fresh. You know, there's just these guys who, they've been around for a long time, they've really honed their sound, but they've always held on to kind of like the love of performance and music and connection with fans, which I think is really important.
I love that.
And so, and obviously Deadmau5, he's been a huge inspiration, also ally of mine. Obviously, I've been releasing a lot with Mousetrap and Housetrap. So big shout out and thank you to him. And so it's really, really cool. It feels cool.
I like that. Let's talk a little bit about, you kind of mentioned it, that like fan interaction. I want to hear your coolest fan interaction story, or like the one that's most memorable or has like a special place in your heart.
You know, this is it's not sad, but last year I played Beyond Wonderland, and I met this girl who came up to me and told me that she basically had recently left an abusive relationship, and Heartbreak House was really her inspiration and what gave her strength to leave. And I could almost get choked up talking about it right now because, I left, my situation wasn't abusive, but it was toxic. And I wrote that song so I could heal. And so the fact that the song did exactly what I wanted it to do for someone and inspired them and gave them courage is like the most beautiful and insane thing. And I'll never forget that interaction. So
I love that's all. I'm like tearing up.
It's really crazy because music is a really powerful thing. And
so powerful.
Whether you're happy or sad, music's always there with us as human beings. And so again, that's the greatest gift that I can receive as an artist, that my music can do that for others. It's really, really rad.
What's like the message that you hope people get from your art and from your music?
I think overall it's empowerment. Obviously I have this underlying theme of breakups and Heartbreak House, right? But at the end of the day, it's about empowerment, and it's about knowing when to leave a situation that doesn't serve you, and knowing how to garner the tools so that if you ever encounter that situation again, you can handle it, or have some foresight and avoid it completely.
I love that. I want to hear from you. What advice would you give to somebody that is just starting to get into music and is wanting to do what you do someday?
I think the biggest thing when it comes to, especially music production, is I tell people it's like working through the mud. It's going to sound really bad for a really long time. And unfortunately with production, it's one of these things that's trial and error, and you have to fight through that, and then eventually you're going to get this breakthrough, and it's going to have this connection, something's going to click. And so my biggest advice would be to stick with it. It's so easy to want to shut down the laptop and be like, I'm done. Or even when it comes to mixing, like I've been DJing for over 10 years, and I'll be trying transitions or creative scratching or whatever, and it'll sound bad. And I kind of have to keep, the analogy is like falling, right? You fall and and get back up, and then eventually it's going to click. So keep working.
I like that. Just what's the biggest piece of general life advice you would give to somebody?
Ooh.
Music aside.
I think it's just, stay true to who you are. And, it's very easy with social media and things to compare yourself and to say, oh, this person got more likes, or this person, for artists is getting more shows than me or has more listeners. At the end of the day, like, you're an artist for a reason, you're a creative for a reason, so hold on to that. And don't let the noise kind of affect your decision making.
I love that.
Thank you.
One thing we always try to ask people, we're really big on gratitude and appreciation here at Lvnding. What are some things you're thankful for in life right now?
I mean, I'm just thankful to be here. And in this moment talking to you, I am, every day I get to wake up and do what I love, and I get to connect with people and meet new people, and again, my music gets heard by people literally all over the world, which is absolutely bananas. It's bananas. And, that's the biggest thing, is just reminding yourself, but it can also be taken away like that, right? And so my thing is just staying humble, staying true to myself. Like I said, trying to turn down the noise and just appreciating every moment, because I really, truly do.
I love that.
Thank you.
I want you to shout out 2 artists that are up and coming right now that you think are going to make it big soon.
Ooh, okay. First and foremost is Kaysen. His name is Kaysen, Kaysin.
Okay.
We actually have a collab that we just finished. I played it in the set today.
Okay.
He's an incredible artist out of LA. He's killing it on the West Coast, and he's awesome. I love him. So shout out Kaysen. And then another artist that's killing it is Foxed. Foxd.
Yeah, he was just out here.
Yep.
Actually,
So he's actually one of our 40-ounce gold artists. I adore him. He's incredible. He just played at Exchange in LA. And it's just been really, really rad to, have put out one of his first records and see his growth. So shout out to both those guys.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to shout out before we kind of wrap things up here?
Ooh, I think, so my brother and I co-own a label and clothing company called 40-Ounce Cult.
Yep.
And we recently dropped a collab with iHeartRaves. Which has been one of my favorite brands since the beginning. I've been very fortunate to get to know the team, and so to be able to do a collab with them has been really cool. So that's available on their site. Go get it.
Nice. Okay. Looking forward rest of 2023 here. What are you most looking forward to?
Ooh, I think, I have a ton of shows coming up. I'm playing Project Glow. I'm playing a Hangout Festival, doing a couple shows at AC Slater, and then obviously finishing out my spring tour dates, getting ready for summer. So I hope to see all my heartbreakers on the road, and let's do this.
Lots of exciting stuff on the horizon.
Lots of exciting stuff.
Last thing, what's the biggest goal for your project moving forward?
Ooh, my biggest goal, I think it's just to continue to kind of check off these bucket list places to play. You know, I've been very fortunate to play, events like EDC. So I think maybe for me it would be to go overseas, maybe EDC China, Korea, Mexico.
Okay.
You know, one of the two or all, who knows?
All the above.
But I think, it's just, like I said, music's global. And so the fact that we get to travel and go different places is really rad. So I'd love to continue doing that.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to shout out or touch on before we wrap things up?
That's it. Shout out to all my Arizona Heartbreakers. Thank you to everyone who came out to my set. If you want to follow me, it's at Wenzday Music on all socials, and check out my label and my brand, 40 Ounce Cult.
Where's the best place for people to stay connected with you?
Definitely either Instagram or TikTok at Wenzday Music.
Okay, for sure. Well, we appreciate you taking the time with us today. This is another episode of The Launchpad. My name's Grant. This is Wenzday.
Thanks for having me.